Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today. For this video I thought we would do another channel message because it's about time, to be honest with you, and I like doing these every so often just to keep you guys up to date with what's going to happen with the channel over the next little while and what's going on with me personally. First off though, I want to wish you many happy returns for 2021. I hope that the year brings you happiness and prosperity and that it's better than 2020 was. But I think, to be honest, that wouldn't be hard. 2020 I think was a shitty year all around for most people. We're getting towards the end of this whole pandemic thing now by the looks of it though. The vaccines are being rolled out and hopefully, you know, by about the start of April things are back to normality, because I think the 1st of April would be about the year mark, come to think of it. So yeah, do your social distancing, wear the masks, you know, and let's just get through these last couple of months while the vaccines are rolled out. Stay safe is the name of the game. Definitely just stay safe. But yeah, from the bottom of my heart, I want to give all of those, give my heartfelt thanks to all of you who've supported the channel over 2020. It's been great fun. It always is. The whole point of me doing this channel is just to, you know, document the different beers that I'm trying and to interact with you guys. I have great fun chatting with you guys who are following the channel and also with my fellow beer tubers. You know, that's what it's all about for me, is the whole community thing. That's what I really enjoy about doing this. So make sure you stay safe, and I look forward to hearing from you all throughout 2021. But yeah, I've got a list of things in this video that I want to chat about, so it might be a little bit of a longer video, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But we'll try and get through everything as quickly as we can. But yeah, first off, my intention had actually been to film this video for you in Sweden. This was going to be the first video I filmed in Sweden again before starting to review more of my beers over there. But that didn't transpire, unfortunately. So what happened was, I was due to fly with Ryanair to Copenhagen from Edinburgh on the 10th of January. But Ryanair wouldn't let me board my flight, and I'm almost certain that they were in receipt of the wrong information. So on the 8th of January I took a COVID test at the Express testing centre just outside the airport, and I got a negative result, which was good, but that cost me £80, which is, you know, ridiculous, to be quite honest. It is just frankly ridiculous that it cost that amount. But anyway, so I took this test, and then I get the email from Ryanair beforehand, the flight, saying, oh, check all the COVID things, and this was before I got the test. So I checked it. It said if you were transit, the website that Ryanair redirected you to was saying, it was one of the Danish government websites. It said if you are transiting through Copenhagen, you do not need a COVID-19 test. So yeah, I didn't actually need one, but I got one because the Swedish authorities were asking that before you entered Sweden, you have a test within 72 hours of your arrival. And that's what I had. I took my test about 48 hours. 2 days before boarding the plane. It came back negative, and that was that. But when I went to check in my bag at Edinburgh Airport, the woman asked to see my residency papers for Sweden and also my COVID test and things, and I gave it. She said, oh, your test isn't within 24 hours of flying. And I was like, this was the first I'd heard of it. And I said to her, well, look, I'm going to Sweden. It says on the website that Ryanair directed us to, you don't need the test. Checked with our boss. Boss said no. So yeah, it was a bit of it was a really annoying and quite strange situation, to be honest. Not unexpected from Ryanair, in honesty. I've never actually had many problems with Ryanair before, just, you know, kind of one or two. But yeah, it was really just very, very strange how that came about. The other thing that happened with it that was really interesting was that with the Express test centre who tested me, the Danes apparently were asking that you were tested 24 hours before the flight, but the Express test centre were saying they needed 24 hours to process the test. So this just, it doesn't make sense. It absolutely does not make sense. So, you know, the £80 for that test, you were paying this and you weren't even guaranteed that you would get the result of your test before you fly. It's just crazy. The 24-hour rule, if it is there, from Denmark is just a little bit extreme. I think it should be 48 hours, because you've got to have time to get the test and let the result be processed. It just, you know, it just kind of makes sense. But from a safety perspective, of course, you can kind of understand why these rules exist. But anyway, I was meant to be back in Sweden on the 10th or 11th of January, but that didn't happen, and we need to just wait and see now. I do have a flight booked to Stockholm later in the month, but we'll see if that goes ahead, because the British government are kind of closing all the travel corridors and things like that. So we'll just need to see how that goes. But yeah, the other annoying thing was that I found out later that at Copenhagen Airport there is a testing centre there, obviously, but if you arrive in Copenhagen Airport without a test, you can pay for one, and the Danish border authorities will let you do that. The other thing is that test only costs £35 compared to the £80 for the express test, which is kind of crazy, to be honest with you, when you think about it. The Danes earn more, the currency is stronger. So all I can think of is that with this express test company, there must be somebody in the British government that's got connections to this company, and they're just ripping off people who are going to fly. You know, it's crazy, but that's not unheard of in the UK. Of course, there is, I think, quite a bit of corruption going on in the British government, but that seems to be part and parcel of what goes on there. But that's it. So yeah, that was the whole fiasco with my not getting back to Sweden. It was frustrating, but it is what it is. On the bright side, though, you're going to see an extended period of Scottish beer reviews. We'll also have some English stuff, and fingers crossed, maybe I can sort out some Irish things. I need to talk to my Irish beer contact and see what we can sort out. But yeah, you will be enjoying an extended period of Scottish, English and potentially Irish reviews on the channel as well. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed the ones that I've published already, and that you will enjoy the ones that are coming up. But anyway, let's focus on something else. So basically, what's going on with me personally? So first off, and most importantly, my little guy is doing very, very well. He's 13 months old now. And you know, kind of he's running around crazy. It's quite funny. Unfortunately, I've not been able to see him since January of 2020, which has been, you know, very, very hard. Part of that is due to the pandemic, but in fairness, I would say that also part of it is down to his mum being a little bit difficult about travel. Some of it's understandable. Some of it, I think, is the whole Japanese overcautious culture, and there's been a few, let's just say, there's been a few arguments about this, but yeah, that's been very, very hard, but we just need to kind of see what we can do with it. We just need to see how it can work out. Obviously, it's something that kind of tears at the soul a little bit, not being able to see my little guy, but we just need to kind of plough on and get this done. There's a lot of important things happening at the moment. So yeah, we'll see how this works out. But the little guy is doing great. He's growing very, very well. He's been well looked after. Considering the situation, you know, you can't really ask for much more than that. Count your blessings, basically. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him this year. That's going to be great, but it's been too long, has absolutely been too long. But yeah, otherwise things are going well with on the Swedish side of things. I have my Swedish permanent residency now. I'm just waiting for the document to appear from Migrationsverket for that. My citizenship application is submitted as well. We also had to submit a third application to do with the whole Brexit process as well. You had to register yourself as a pre-Brexit resident, basically. So yeah, there's 3 applications taking place with Migrationsverket just now. As I've told you in previous videos, Sweden, it's a very well functioning society in a lot of ways, but you know, with the bureaucracy you do have to wait. That's the only kind of real downside to it at the moment. So yeah, we just need to wait and see how all these things come out. But yeah, permanent resident now. That kicked in automatically in September, which I was very lucky about, considering the whole transition period and things like that, and the mess that's going on with Brexit, because they don't know what's going on. So yeah, we just need to kind of sit tight and see what happens with that. I'm also doing my Swedish course. I've been doing my Swedish 1 to 8, level 1 to 8. Over the last few months. When you get to level 8, of course, that's basically professional level Swedish, academic level Swedish, so then employers don't question your language level and things like that. I've done the first 4 levels now and did well with that, and then we need to just progress through level 5 to 8, and that will finish sometime in May or in June. So really looking forward to that as well, actually. So yeah, lots of interesting things to come. Going forward. But yeah, it's been really nice to have that course. I had quite a strong Swedish knowledge already, but having this course to just kind of direct everything, perfect the grammar and everything else has been great. I've really thoroughly enjoyed the course, and a big shout out to my teacher, Frederick. He was awesome this semester, and I hope that the new teacher we're getting for level 5 to 8 is as good as he was. But yeah, on top of that, I've also been doing a few other little interesting classes. I did a Russian history one, which was great, Middle Eastern history, which was very interesting. I also did a little Russian language course at one stage, which was really good. I need to get back to studying Japanese. later next year. I had to kind of put that on hold because I felt it was best to focus on the Swedish for the moment. But yeah, I'll need to get my Japanese up and running again, probably starting in September or August of this year, so that's on the cards. But yeah, other than that, I've been doing some economics classes as well. I've been really finding myself interested in economics, and I do have a little bit of a long-term project where I want to work towards a politics, history and economics masters to kind of go on top of my chemistry and physics stuff that I've done previously. So that's a long-term project that I'm just kind of gradually working on. I like learning, I like reading about things, and yeah, that's going very well as well, so we'll see how that goes. On top of that, I've been doing a little bit of investing, learning a bit about the stock market and things, which has been very, very fun. I've learned a hell of a lot, and it's again, that's one of the reasons I'm studying economics, so I've really been enjoying that as well. I've also been kind of refreshing my programming knowledge. I was always quite solid with Python, but I need to learn a little bit more kind of Java, so I've been refreshing my Python knowledge, and I need to look for some kind of formal training in Java a little bit later in the year. So again, that's something that I will do. On top of all of this though, I've been working full time, mainly over the weekends, which is why I haven't been taking part in a number of the other guys' live streams, but that'll change around the summertime. Absolutely, but yeah, I do plan to return to regular work rather than digital work sometime later in the year, maybe, you know, September, October kind of time. We'll see about that. I probably will need, after this summer, I think I will need just a little bit of time to relax and recharge. So yeah, later on in the year, I'm saying that this is when I want to return to regular work actually. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Lots of things kind of on the go. It's been a very tiring sort of 4 or 5 months actually, but it has been worth it. I've achieved quite a lot. I did my English teaching diploma as well, which was interesting to add on to my current teaching certificate that I have. So yeah, that's also been quite a fun addition to have as well. So yeah, lots of things going on from a personal perspective at the moment, and as I say, the main goal is to return to work later in 2021, sorry. So yeah, looking forward to that. But yeah, the channel's achievements over 2020, there was some really, really interesting things went on. So we just hit the 2,600 review mark, which is absolutely crazy. First off, I will say that I want to take the channel back to 1 review a day, because you know, doing 2 reviews a day is just being a little bit crazy. The main reason I was doing that was just because I built up such a stockpile of beer. You know, I was in Estonia first off in the summer, and I brought back a load of Estonian things. Then the Dutch guys gave me a lot of stuff when I went down there as well, and then of course I've been trying to keep up with the Swedish local releases and having things from Denmark and stuff. I also bought that Brazilian box from Beer Dome in the Netherlands as well, which was kind of interesting, and that was just because of the opportunity. I mean, when else are you going to get the chance to try a bunch of Brazilian beers? So I brought that one on myself. But yeah, I've been cutting through my stockpile, which has been great, and I want to take the channel back to 1 review a day. Yeah, to 1 review a day over the next little while. So fingers crossed we can make that happen quite soon actually. But yeah, my stockpile has been fairly cut into, and that is progressing well. So that's the plan, maybe for around March time or whatever. I want to have the channel back to 1 video a day. But yeah, over the course of 2020 I managed to try beers from a lot of new countries. We had the first Bulgarian beer on the channel, which was really nice. Also the first Romanian beer. Both of those were very good actually, and I look forward to trying more beers from both of those countries. We also got some more Russian reviews done, which was great. I mean, the Russian beer I've always been very, very impressed with, and I look forward to seeing more and more of the Russian breweries getting their beers into the EU market. That's been great. I got the Brazilian beers from that web shop in the Netherlands, and I was very impressed with those. I've still got quite a few of those to review actually, come to think of it. I managed to review a bunch of Finnish beers thanks to Riku, which was great as well, and I was really impressed with the quality of stuff from there. And then Davor sent me some other things from Slovenia too. We got to try a number of new breweries from Slovenia as well, which was great. So yeah, got to try a lot of new and very interesting beers on the channel. I think we reviewed my first Chilean craft beer as well, come to think of it. That was another one that we did on the channel too. So there's been a lot of firsts over 2020, which was great, and I really Very much enjoyed that. We're also getting close to 9,000 subscribers just now. I think we'll probably hit that by, you know, maybe the end of February, sometime in March. Not that it's all about the subscribers, of course. The channel for me is far more about the community. I love hearing from you guys that are watching the videos and learning about different places in the world. That's what it's all about for me. You know, having fun with my fellow beer tubers, enjoying things with you guys on the live streams. You know, that's always been what it's all about for me. I don't care so much about the subscribers, but to be close to 9,000 subscribers for me, it is a little bit crazy. There's 9,000 people out there that like to listen to some Scottish idiot talking about beer, but you know, that's great. It's absolutely great. The other thing, of course, that happened was the whole Reddit thing. I still don't know exactly how that kind of transpired. From what I understand, the guy who shared this post on Reddit, he was just looking for a review of a beer that he had, and then he found my channel, he found the review of the beer, and then he shared one of the OO brewing beers. I forget which exact beer that was, to be honest with you, but yeah, it was just crazy how that happened. I'm still not 100% clear on how exactly Reddit works. It seems to be like a peer-reviewed thread site, so basically people that have shared a lot of good stuff, they get karma, and then their posts become more prominent or something like that. So this guy had a lot of karma, his post was very prominent, and so he managed to put it in like a craft beer section of Reddit, and it just went crazy. It's now the second most viewed post of all time in a thread that's called the depths of YouTube, which basically goes and just tries to find random things on YouTube. So it's quite popular, apparently, I have to say. So whoever it was that shared my channel through Reddit, you know, thank you. It's been really cool. And the main thing that I like to take out of that is that you know, it gives me contact with more people from different places in the world, and I can learn more about their local beer and things like that. So that's one of the great things about that. So that was really quite cool how that happened. Very, very random, but very cool, and I'm still not 100% clear on how Reddit works. I know there's some really interesting and very random stuff on there, but it is something that I basically tried to avoid because I knew that I could waste so much time on there. I already waste a lot of time, well, waste is maybe not the right word, but I spend a lot of time on Wikipedia reading different articles and things like that. I can spend so much time on there just clicking between articles. It's crazy, actually. It's just absolutely insane. But yeah, the other thing that came out of that was that I was interviewed by Vice News. There was a reporter who was Welsh, contacted me and asked me some questions, and that is, the channel's now in Vice News as well, which is pretty crazy. So, you know, Vice News like to talk about North Korea, various other things, and then people, beer tubers. It's quite funny, Scottish beer tubers. So yeah, the whole Vice News thing was just a little bit crazy as well. But I'll put the links to the Reddit page in the video description for you below, and I'll also put the link to the Vice News article as well, and you guys can have a read at that, because that was pretty cool. So yeah, the other thing that happened in 2020 was all that stuff with the beer hooligan. Now, I don't want to say too much about this because the guy, frankly, does not deserve the attention. And I mean, it's quite, the whole thing is quite funny, to be honest. You know, he likes to paint himself as the victim, but he dishes out, you know, very nasty comments to people on social media. You know, anyone who disagrees with him is a bearded lefty twat, essentially, or Labour voting scum. These are just some of the things that he's dished out there. But when it comes down to it, he said something horrible about people dying in a truck, and he won't admit that he was wrong to say that. He just won't admit it. His ego will not let him admit that. But he has a history of posting, you know, homophobic, xenophobic, and, you know, just downright racist things on various different social media platforms. It's all there for everybody to see, and you know, his story changes all the time. He says, oh, I'm not racist, then that changes to, oh, I don't care if I'm racist. So there's quite a difference of degree in those statements, but yeah, it was interesting. So what actually happened after I made the video back in March was that he claimed that he had called off some Swedish Arsenal hooligans. He claimed that he was big in the Arsenal firm and things like that, which is obviously just a load of bollocks, and that's generally what this guy likes to do. He just likes to make up stuff. He's got a very vivid imagination. But basically, he claimed that he had called off the Swedish division of the Arsenal hooligans from coming to my door in Lund, which is just, it's just funny. It is actually just funny that this guy thinks that that is something that would worry me, because they don't exist. They just don't exist. It's just funny. But the other thing as well was that he tried to threaten me and say, "Oh, I'm going to sue you in court for defamation of character." But he backed off with that very, very quickly when he learned that my father and sister are both lawyers. My family is full of police officers, armed forces, and things like this. And yet he very, very quickly backed off as soon as he realised that. The other thing to point out is that defamation of character, from what I understand, does not exist as a term in English law. It's slander. In Scotland it's defamation of character. But yeah, if he wanted to take legal action against me, he would have to submit the thing to the court in Edinburgh. So go ahead. I would genuinely love to see that. I think that I can imagine that. I would love to face him in a Scottish court and just see how that went down. That would be, to be quite honest, priceless. But anyway, he dropped, this whole thing about him saying that he has the police involved. This whole thing about him saying that he has the police involved, getting legalities into it, it's just utter nonsense. Again, that is something that seems to spring from his very vivid imagination. But I would love to see it. I would love to see him put a court case in and just see how that goes, because it would fall absolutely flat. I can guarantee you that. It really is just very, very funny. But like I said, he has a history of posting homophobic things, xenophobic things, and racist things on various social media platforms. He called Harry and I bum chums, which we just thought was really funny. I mean, how is that insulting in 2020? How is it? I mean, it's like the mind of a 13-year-old, and that's an insult to 13-year-olds, so I apologise to them for that. But it's just so juvenile that it's funny. It really is. So when you see Harry and I, and other guys join in as well, when you see us asking each other if we fancy a bum, that's the reason. It's just absolutely hilarious to us that he thinks that being called gay is insulting in 2020. So yeah, but these days he gets rinsed on various different Facebook beer groups. There's a bunch of memes. If you go onto the UK supermarket craft beer forum, there's a bunch of memes that people have created, and they're priceless. They are absolutely brilliant. But yeah, he's got various conspiracy theories as well. Some of the things that he likes to say, Sweden is bordering on communism. You're just like, okay. He's tried to, he likes to go on his live streams. He has a couple of beers and then he just thinks he's hard, basically. And my favourite one that he came out with was that I escaped to Sweden to live with my Indian boyfriend, and I became a member of Antifa, which is kind of interesting. I mean, I hate communism, I hate fascism, and I hate theocracy. I hate all three of those things. But to be a member of Antifa, a bearded lefty member of Antifa, it's just brilliant. My Indian boyfriend, I mean, I have to give him that. He is quite inventive with some of these things, but they are just absolutely funny. And I mean, when he goes and says these things, there was also the 105.9% ABV. That was brilliant. I'm not thick, but I can't. I'm not thick, but I can't do percentages properly. Then there was the whole channel membership thing as well. Wanting, was it £90 or something? For the channel membership. It was just crazy. That video disappeared, of course, very quickly when he got rinsed on various Facebook things for that. But it wasn't deleted. It was delisted because he couldn't lose the number of views for his stats and things like that. So it was just quite funny. It was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, like I say, he just likes to sit on his live streams and kind of mouth off about things. He has like a beer or two, thinks he's hard. That's it. It's quite funny. It really is. But I mean, he thinks I'm running a campaign of hate against them, which, again, it's just quite funny. He's very paranoid, he really is. I've got better things to do with my time. I really have better things to do with my time. And yeah, obviously, I'll make little jokes like, oh, he's a Scottish twat in Sweden, well, Belgian beer from a Belgian brewery. We'll do things like this just because it is quite funny. But yeah, I don't get that when this guy is getting close to 50 years old. how can he not be embarrassed by his behaviour? I don't understand that. It kind of shows you I think there's something not quite right in the mind there. I genuinely don't. I think there's something not quite right in the mind there. But I mean, the guy is a space cadet. He's an absolute zoomer. That's all we can say. But what I will say to him, because I know that he'll hear about this, if the accusations against myself and Harry, like he's called Harry a rapist on his live streams, he's tried to call me a sex offender and things, if those continue, I will not hesitate to have that dealt with through the proper channels. This has already been checked, there is basis for it, and it will be dealt with if necessary. Let's leave it there. I've already spoken for longer than I wanted to on that issue, but that is the current state of affairs. If there is a requirement for it to be dealt with, it will be dealt with, and it won't be good. So we'll leave it there. But anyway, that's that. If any of you have any questions about this, of course, feel free to email me, james.rampantlionreviews@gmail.com. I'm very open about this. That's the way to be. I'm not going to sit and make up bullshit on a live stream for you. I will actually just tell you as it is, because that's just me. I prefer to tell it as it is. But yeah, let's go on then and have a little look at the travel plans for 2021. First and foremost, the next plan will be to go and see my little guy, and we need to figure out exactly when that is. So originally I had plans to go to Japan in June, but that didn't work out because we found out that I can get a special visa to go to Japan based on family and things. But by the time we found that out, I only had like 2 weeks until classes started, until my Swedish classes started, and so yeah, that was one of the big problems. So we agreed that Michiko would come to Scotland in October, and then again that didn't that just didn't transpire because of the whole COVID situation, and Japanese people being a little bit overcautious. That's just kind of how it goes. But yeah, that didn't transpire. So the first priority has to be to get out east to visit my little guy. I actually am booked to go to America from over the course of June and July. So I very much look forward to that. Lots of interesting things planned there when I arrive. I'm going to spend a few days in New York and do a little bit of filming and stuff around there and explore the city, because it's been a long time actually since I was in New York, and I never actually got to stay in the city overnight and things when I was there last time, so I really am looking forward to that. But yeah, I'll do some filming at the various breweries around there, which I'm sure you guys will enjoy. Then I'm going to go and visit my friend Dave in New Jersey. We'll chill for a little bit. Then I have to go to Connecticut for my friend's wedding, and then Dave is going to meet me there. And then we'll do a little bit of a beer tour around New England and visit various kind of well-known breweries. So I'm very, very much looking forward to that. That's going to be really fun. You'll get a lot of out and about videos there. Maybe we can do some Meet the Brewery and things like that as well. I'll see about getting that arranged in time for going out. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing that. We'll get lots of good breweries done. We've got a very nice itinerary drawn up for this already, so we just need to see about making that happen in June. So you'll probably see those videos, I would think, sometime in July, so that will be very fun. I'm also hoping to get down to Colorado to visit another friend, and then down to Texas to visit a few friends as well, so we'll see about that. I'm not sure how possible those are going to be, but obviously being in the northeast of the States is the thing that's going to take priority. But yeah, on top of that as well, two of the other highlights of that trip will be meeting Matt from Massive Beer Reviews for the first time. I'm going to go and stay with him for a few days, film a little bit and just chill. He will have just become a father at that point though, so we need to, he says it still should be okay, but I'm looking forward to meeting Matt for the first time. Matt's been a good friend on various in various ways over the last little while, so I'm looking forward to meeting him in person for the first time. And I'm also going to catch up with an old friend as well, Paul Romeli from PA Brew News, so I'll be going to visit him and stay with him for a little bit in Pennsylvania too. That's going to be very, very fun. So yeah, definitely looking forward to doing that whole thing, and yeah, it will be great. I'm sure it will be great. It'll be nice to do some filming with Paul and see his dungeon properly for the first time that he has. He always likes to film in the dungeon with his black metal going. So yeah, going to be nice to see Paul again and to meet Matt for the very first time. So you can look forward to some more collaboration reviews sometime during summer 2021. Beyond that, in August I have to be in Sweden for the exam reset period, just in case I don't pass any of my Swedish exams, but I've also got a few extra courses that I'm doing this semester, some economics things, just out of pure interest. So I might delay those exams and then take them in the August period. We'll need to see. I do have one physics exam that I need to do as well, actually. So yeah, I need to be in Sweden for August. My best friend Grant is also getting married in Scotland in early September, so I will be back home in Scotland for a week or so in early September, and I'm hoping that, COVID permitting, fingers crossed, the American trip of course is COVID permitting too, I'm hoping that I can do a little bit of an England tour and then fly out east after this perhaps, or back to Copenhagen or whatever. But the plan for the England tour would be to go to Newcastle and visit a couple of places. Hopefully I can meet up with Christoph from Ale Degustations. It would be awesome to do a video at Wylam Brewery and maybe Almas Day or something like that with him. So fingers crossed we can make that happen. After that I'll go down to Durham and catch up with a few friends from my teacher programme that are still living there. Then I want to go to York and Leeds with Rob from Hopsy. We need to see about making that happen, you know, film at North Brewery and things like that. That would be absolutely awesome to do. Then we would go to Liverpool and Manchester and do some filming with Adam from Mersey Beers and Peter the Clueless Drinker, you know, do Cloudwater and Track and all of these kind of places. There's various interesting places in Liverpool as well that would be cool. And then the next step would be to go down to Bristol. So Adam was saying that maybe he can drive us down to Bristol, because that would seem to be the easiest way to get there. But Bristol's a great beer city. It'd be nice to do some out and about filming down there with Adam. And then Harry, of course, is very local to Bristol, so Harry from Blue Nose Beer Reviews. So I think to do this little England tour will be quite fun. After Bristol, and after I'm sure having had a look at the Ramsbury Brewery where Harry works, I'm sure we can head across to London after that, and then I can meet up with Craig from Kent Beer Reviews and potentially Jake O as well. That would be quite interesting. If we can manage it, it would be awesome to see Beardy Brett down in Bournemouth as well, so maybe that is possible. I would love to see if we could do that. And I think Scott from Beer Wonder, he is down, I'm sure is it Portsmouth I want to say he is, so maybe we can meet up with him as well. I've never been to Portsmouth, I've been to Southampton, but never Portsmouth. So yeah, maybe that's something that we can sort out as well. But it will be cool to kind of see some of these guys again, as well as to meet some of them in person for the very first time. Definitely looking forward to that, but fingers crossed we can get the England tour to work. Beyond that, the first priority for any other trips that would be possible will be to go to Slovenia and Croatia. I've been promising my good friend Davor in Slovenia that I need to go there. That I will go there. Slovenia is a bit difficult to reach actually. You either have to fly into like Zagreb in Croatia, or you have to fly into Venice in Italy, so it's a bit difficult. It's just, the Ljubljana airport is just not very big, so yeah, it's a bit difficult to get there. So probably on that trip I would do like Venice and Trieste in Italy, then do Slovenia, and I would love to go and see the Dalmatian coast in Croatia as well actually. So that's definitely something that is on the cards for there. So yeah, we'll see about getting that done. Absolutely, that's the first priority for any other trip outside of the States, and going to see my little guy. I would love to get Ukraine done as well. Ukraine would be the next one that takes priority after that, because I was booked to go to Ukraine back in about 2018, but that just that didn't work out because Michiko wasn't very well at all. So yeah, Ukraine would be the next one after that, and then obviously, as I said, I do want to get out east and visit the little guy, but I'd quite like to do it in a bit of an inventive way, because you can use the low-cost carriers from many places in Europe. So I'd like to kind of just dot and take it gradually. Go out east. That would be quite fun. I mean, within the next 2 years I would like to do another visit to Hong Kong, because after I did the Hong Kong beer reviews, I got quite a lot of offers of like interviews and meetups and things like that, so I would love to go out to Hong Kong again and do some of these things. I've got friends in Dubai that I want to visit as well. I'd love to get a little look at Singapore, because Singapore I think is somewhere that I would like to spend a little bit of time working and stuff like this. It would be quite cool to spend a little bit of time out there. I'd like to get a little bit of work experience in Asia at some stage. So yeah, there's that. But I'd also like to go to Australia again and visit my uncle. So within the next kind of few years, that is something that I would like to do. Maybe that's something we can look at in 2022. But yeah, the first priority, as I say, will be to visit my little guy, and then the American trip was already booked. That was actually booked on the assumption that Michiko and the little guy would be in Europe until about April time. So yeah, it's already booked. Can't really change that just now. But yeah, those are the current kind of travel plans, if you like. Get out east and visit the little guy, and the American trip, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the first priority beyond that will be Slovenia. I'd love to go down to Montenegro as well if that's possible. My cousin is game for this whole kind of Balkan trip, so we will see about getting that booked up for later in the year. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. That's interesting for sure. But yeah, those are the travel plans for this year. Maybe other things will pop up in the meantime. But yeah, the channel goals then for 2021. So basically what I would like to do is expand the beer mule network. We've already got Davor in Slovenia, who's the longest serving one. We've got Riku up in Finland now. There's Saverio in Italy, who wants to organise some Italian beers, which I'm very much looking forward to. I've got Eduardo in Catalonia in Spain, who has said he's willing to do it if I help him out with that, so that one is also a possibility later on. There's a guy in Austria who is actually quite keen to sort out a beer box for me as well, so trying some Austrian beers I think would be very fun. I've also got my contact here in Scotland who imports the Irish beers as well, so I can get a hold of Irish stuff fairly easily. So yeah, as I was saying, you will see potentially some more Irish reviews on the channel at some point. But yeah, we've already got a nice, fairly extensive network already, but of course it's always great to kind of expand that and have easier access to different things. The Dutch guys, of course, can sort out some Dutch beers for me if I ask them, and you know, the English guys, Craig and Adam, are very good at sorting out these kind of things as well. So yeah, that's I can get a hold of English beers and stuff like that, and they can get access to some of the Scottish stuff as well if I want it. So yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind over the next little while. But the Swedish beers and the Danish beers usually keep me fairly busy anyway, and then my trips of course give me access to more random things. But yeah, I would love in terms of countries and things that I would love to try more beers from in 2021. I'd love to get more kind of Latin American beers done. Obviously in 2020 we got a number of Brazilian beers, but I would love to try some things from the likes of, you know, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, you know, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia as well. If we could try some of those things, that would be awesome. I got to try a few Latin American beers at the Mikkeler Bauhauen festival back in 2019. That was you know, that was really fun actually. So I really enjoyed trying those. It was cool to find out that there were like lambic and sour beer breweries in South America. I had one or two Mexican beers quite a while back actually that I was very impressed with too. So yeah, it'd be cool to get some more Latin American stuff on the channel. We did of course manage to review my first Chilean craft beer on the channel too in 2020, which was great. So yeah, Latin American beers I think would be one of the kind of primary targets. I'd love to review more Norwegian stuff over 2021 as well, because I know there's some really new and very exciting breweries up there, but I don't have a Norwegian beer mule, so if there's somebody watching in Norway who can act as a beer mule for me, I send you money, you guys send me the beers and organise that, then I would absolutely be keen to do that. I'd love to get some more Norwegian stuff, because mainly we get Cervicium, we get Lervig, we get Amundsen, we get these kind of breweries. Every so often you'll get something from, is it Lindheim's brewery? You know, you'll get things in Ecotide as well. I'd love to get some of the more kind of small and very, very quirky Norwegian breweries reviewed on the channel, so that would definitely be a goal as well. I'd love to get more French beers reviewed. I've got my friend Gauthier in southeast France who can organise a few things for me, so that would be very, very cool to get a few more French beers after I do the ones that he's sent me already. So really looking forward to that. Italian beers will be on the way. I want to get a few more Spanish things as well, to be honest. But I think probably the region in Europe that I would want to explore a little bit more would be the kind of Balkan and southeastern European area. That's where I'd love to try a few more beers from. I need to get some more Polish stuff on the channel as well, because I've known about the web shop eBrewarium for quite some time, but I've never managed to actually make an order from them. So that is another thing that I need to try and sort out over 2021. But there's lots of things there. Basically, you guys know I like to try beers from different places, and you know, I just want to keep expanding that. I love kind of trying beers from the different European countries, and I think the standard of beer in Europe these days really is very, very good. So yeah, I also want to get a few more kind of traditional beers on the channel, you know, some more German things, some more Czech things as well. Czech in particular is quite hard to get a hold of, so if any of you are aware of any good web shops that sell the Czech beers, then that would be awesome. I mean, I think one of the issues with the Czech beers is that a lot of these little breweries tend to be like brew pubs, so that's kind of one of the difficult things. You can only really get these beers in bottle if you actually go to the brewery and take it away. That's one of the main issues I think that we have with Czech beer. But if any of you are aware of any good Czech web shops that have a good selection of things, I would be really interested to know that, because there's obviously the traditional Czech lager breweries, and you've got the breweries that are also brewing the American things as well. So let me know about those. Those would be really fun to review. I would love to get some more Czech stuff on the channel, and of course some more Belgian beers. I need to try and get a hold of some more Belgian things. I need to get down to Belgium at some stage and do a little bit of a beer tour, visit the Trappist breweries and things like that. That would be awesome. But yeah, that's definitely something to do at some stage as well. I want to get more German, Czech and Belgian beers on the channel over 2021. At least, you know, try and do at least a couple every month in terms of reviews. I want to get back to doing the out and about videos. I've got 2 that I need to edit together and publish from Copenhagen. I want to film a few more things in Copenhagen, of course, and then I want to get more Meet the Brewery things done as well, actually. But of course those have mainly gone on hold because of this whole COVID-19 pandemic. So yeah, those have been those have just had to go on hold because of the current situation. But I've got quite a few breweries that are interested to do that. A lot of the Swedish breweries are keen. I need to contact some of the Copenhagen breweries as well and see about getting it done with them. But yeah, some of the Scottish breweries are also keen, so maybe in September when I come home again I can go and visit some of the different Scottish breweries and do these things. So yeah, that's definitely something that's on the cards for later in the year. So don't worry, the Meet the Brewery segments, which proved to be very popular, those will return later in the year, and there will be more out and about videos in 2021 as well. But to be honest, I think that is actually everything that I wanted to say. So yeah, if you are interested in becoming a beer mule, drop me a message through Instagram or the channel Facebook page. It's always interesting to hear from you guys, and obviously if you can help me get a hold of some more unusual beers, that would be very, very cool, I have to say. So yeah, that would be great. But yeah, lots of interesting things to come over 2021. Hopefully we can meet some of those goals, and yeah, we'll just see how the channel goes from there. But yeah, again, a huge thank you to all of you for your love and support over 2020. Stay safe, and I hope you guys have a very prosperous 2021, and I hope that you continue to enjoy the channel over 2021 as well. But yeah, let's leave it at that. Thank you again for watching my reviews over the year, and I will catch you guys in the reviews. You'll see more Scottish reviews and English reviews and potentially Irish stuff starting from tomorrow, and we'll get back to Sweden as soon as we can. Sláinte, skål, cheers, and catch you guys in the next videos.